Widely recognized as one of the most influential billionaires of our time, and arguably the most successful investor of all time, Warren Buffett's personal finance often goes unnoticed and is overshadowed by his reputation. Contrary to what you might expect from a billionaire, Warren Buffett enjoys intellectual pursuits over worldly material possessions with an amazing style. He loves being simple and rational instead of splurging the cash to acquire a lot of reckless assets. Warren Buffett was once asked why he doesn't own a yacht, and he replied, "Why would I want to own a yacht?" This response tells you all you need to know about him. While most people in his shoes would prefer to live in luxury, Warren Buffett insisted that he would not need a yacht because he would not want to deal with managing the crew to maintain it. While some critics may label Warren Buffett as cheap, a sentiment often echoed by a lot of his fans, we have to look at the bigger picture. Warren Buffett believes understanding the value of money is paramount, and has deeply ingrained this train of thought into his mind and the way he approaches financial matters. The guy is simply built differently. Being frugal at an early age allowed him to build capital quickly as a young man, and we have to model his approach. Giving value to money and spending it wisely, regardless of our net worth, is a wise move to make, especially as the economic tide is set to change in the coming months. Make no mistake, even seasoned investors like Warren Buffett are adjusting their outlook. The Oracle of Omaha recently expressed his apprehensions about the current state of the U.S. economy in an interview, citing that things will get tough for businesses, and, well, let's just say it's enough to get frantic about.
It's a tougher world out there in a great many businesses.
And how about his Berkshire partner, Charlie Munger? He had this stern warning for value investors.
So my advice to value investors is to get used to making less.
During Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting, Warren Buffett noted that the incredible period for growth in the U.S. economy seems to be slowing down, and that many of Berkshire's businesses would likely report lower earnings for the current year compared to the previous one. Given how Buffett's cautionary observations stand in stark contrast to his typically optimistic views on the U.S. economy, we cannot help but ask ourselves what suddenly changed. Could it have been a combination of persistently high inflation and rising interest rates? Or perhaps the annoying banking crisis? Who knows? It may have been all three in these situations. Regardless, Warren Buffett and his longtime business partner, Charlie Munger, are way more cautious about the potential for investment gains in 2024 than they have been in previous years. We guess that's where Charlie Munger's "get used to making less" advice rings the most. That said, don't misunderstand their perspectives. Despite their cautious outlook, Buffett and Munger aren't advising a complete withdrawal from the market. Instead, they want everyone, from the big-name investors to the average Joe, to act differently. They want us all to employ smart strategies to navigate next year's changing economic terrain. We've complied 17 of the things people will most likely waste their money on in 2024, and how to mitigate them using smart tips straight out of Warren Buffett's book, starting with housing.
Cost of living does not equate to standard of living. You don't need that much money. Aside, I love to ride around in a private plane. I will totally acknowledge that. And I wouldn't live better if I had 8 houses, if I had, a 400-foot yacht or anything of the sort. I've been on 400-foot yachts, and I've been in a lot of fancy houses, but I'm in a house that I bought 55 years ago. It's warm in the winter, it's cool in the summer, it has everything I wanted, plus it has all kinds of good memories. My kids have good thoughts about it. I can't imagine living any better. I paid $31,500 for it. I could pay $31 million for a house, and it wouldn't do for me what this present house does.
Number 1. Housing. As many of you probably know, Warren Buffett continues to reside in the house he purchased for $31,500 in 1958, which, adjusted for inflation, is over $320,000 in contemporary times. The stucco house spans 6,570 square feet and features 5 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. While one can argue that it's a big house by any standard, you just have to admire the fact that he has kept it after all these years, despite being one of the richest people in the world. The lesson here is that choosing a house you like, with sufficient space early on, and in a location you desire, can be a long-term investment. If the initial purchase meets your needs and brings satisfaction, do you really need a bigger, costlier home, especially if you are already comfortable? 2024 is shaping up to be a make-it-or-break-it season for everyone, and you might want to be frugal and trim down on housing upgrades, unless it's the financially smarter option in the long run. Number 2, maintenance. And this brings us to the issue of maintenance. Many people spend a lot of money on home repairs and improvements, and sometimes other assets like cars. Some people don't even know how to change their oil, tires, or other similarly basic activities. Instead of paying lots of money, why don't you master basic DIY skills that could potentially save you money on repairs and tweaks? Most of these tips are completely free and accessible as YouTube clips. Similar to Warren Buffett, finding value and making the most of your current home can be cost-effective. Fixing things around your house or on your vehicle is often way more economical than simply purchasing a new one or giving it to the experts who may just want to extort you. Number 3, neglecting personal development. Have you ever wondered what Warren Buffett's ultimate investing advice is? Well, ponder not, because here it is. There's a big reason why Buffett emphasizes that the most valuable investment is in oneself. Improving skills and getting quality education not only enhance earning potential, but also provide enduring assets that cannot be taken away. What could be better than that? Believe it or not, it's a valuable, long-term investment that can pay off in many ways. Knowledge can save you money, and your skills can save you money. Self-investments foster frugality, enabling individuals to save on expenses by acquiring skills that reduce reliance on external services. Its importance cannot be overstated. Number 4, expensive meals. We know this might sound like a big surprise, but what if we told you that feeding is one of the biggest holes draining your personal finances? And get this, it gets worse when you practice it every day. Just think about it for a second. Why bother spending hundreds of dollars every day when you could just limit it and cook more healthy meals at home instead? It's more economical, and it allows you to control the quality and quantity of what you consume. But even if you can't shake off eating out, as most people have to start work early or head home late, why not just tone down your expenses a bit? Some of Warren Buffett's favorite places to eat are McDonald's and Dairy Queen, usually with a good old classic Coca-Cola. And most days, when he gets to work early, he uses the drive-thru window to get a nice McDonald's breakfast. It's easy, it's cheap, and it's tasty. Number 5, credit card expenditures. Did you know that Warren Buffett carries cash everywhere he goes? It's easy to see why Warren Buffett prefers paying cash most of the time. While credit cards can be convenient, high interest rates usually overshadow any benefits you may gain if you don't pay the full balance monthly. And this could lead to serious problems, including credit card debt. Another big reason why spending cash over credit cards is a smart financial move is that it limits spending to what you have on you. The convenience of swiping a card to pay for something over the counter is a double-edged sword. It's easy, but you won't really feel the value of the exchange compared to giving away physical currency. That's why we spend so much. Number 6, frequenting bars and pubs. While we can admit everyone needs some chill time to socialize and have fun with friends, or even make new ones, spending money on social activities like drinking at bars and pubs has this habit of piling up. Warren Buffett never goes to bars to drink alcohol with friends. Instead, his reported daily routine includes consuming 5 cans of Coca-Cola and enjoying chicken nuggets at least 3 times a week. Opting for more affordable social gatherings, like mini parties at home or get-togethers where you can play fun games with friends, can help you save significantly. And even if you want to make new friends, tune down on the alcohol. It's healthier and more cost-effective. In the long run, your body and pocket will appreciate it. Number 7, investing with borrowed money. Like we said earlier, 2024 is shaping up to be a make-it-or-break-it year. Many investors will either lose a lot of money or lose it. Economic downturns usually usher in amazing business opportunities, and many investors, eyeing an offer that's too good to be true, usually fall into the trap of investing with money that they borrowed. Take a page out of Warren Buffett's book for a change. Gone are the days when he used a 25% margin for investing. Now he preaches against it, as he believes the added risk of leverage that borrowed money could give you is not worth the trouble in the long run. Remember this piece of advice from Warren Buffett. If you're smart, you're going to make a lot of money without borrowing. It's better that you just invest the money that you can and let the compounding returns grow your capital, rather than take the risk of investing with borrowed money in an uncertain economic climate. Number 8. Unnecessary financial risks. And speaking of risks, Warren Buffett always says, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Taking unnecessary financial risks can lead to tremendous losses, and it's one of the things you must avoid in 2024. Always make sure that you understand the implications of your financial decisions to avoid potentially disastrous circumstances. Taking unnecessary financial risks is like walking a tightrope without a safety net. You might make it to the other side unscathed, but one wrong step could lead to a financial freefall. You must ensure that all of your financial decisions balance risk and reward. Taking unnecessary risks, whether in investments or spending, increases the likelihood of setbacks that can take a toll on your financial stability. Number 9. Extra cars. Remember when Warren Buffett said this?
It would take me probably a half a day to go through the exercise of buying a car and reading the owner's manual and all of that. And that's just a half a day I don't want to give up in my life for no benefit. If I could write a check in 30 seconds and be in the same position I'm in now with a newer car, I'd be glad to do it this afternoon. But I don't like to trade away when there's really no benefit to me at all. I'm totally happy with the car.
Not a lot of people will know this, but Warren Buffett previously drove a 2006 Cadillac DTS from when it was 8 years old until 2014, when his daughter told him his old car was a bit embarrassing. But here's what we find interesting about Buffett. Instead of splurging his cash on a fancy new sports car like a lot of rich people, nowadays he decided to buy a new Cadillac XTS in 2014, which was driven by income earners. While he could have had any car he wanted, he preferred to stick with comfort. Unlike many Americans, Buffett has no desire to upgrade or buy a new car if his current one is functioning well. He avoids the common practice of overspending on new cars and frequent trade-ins. Instead of buying a car that's above your budget because of its luxurious allure, why don't you keep your finances in check by continuing with what you have? If your current car can still get you from point A to point B, why do you need a new one? Number 10. The latest gadgets. And this brings us to our next point on the list, which is mindlessly chasing the latest technology. Despite the fact that new gadgets look better and often come with nice perks, the previous model still works perfectly well. Instead of buying the latest, it's important to assess if it genuinely provides value to you, especially for the price. In case you didn't know, Buffett himself has a history of sticking to functional technologies rather than the flashy ones. He didn't even upgrade his trusty old flip phone until 2020, when he finally got an iPhone. Despite the amazing opportunities presented by modern technology, Buffett has never felt the need to simply leverage it just because it's the latest. His wealth creation tools rely on information from financial reporting, newspapers, accounting, analysis, math, and his own intellect. And the amazing part is that it works so well for him. It makes us really wonder how much technology we use that isn't needed. Number 11. Items or brands that don't last. Buying items that don't last is exactly like throwing money down the drain. It's a straightforward equation. Short-lived products equal frequent replacements, which means constant spending. Opting for quality may cost more upfront, but it pays off in longevity, sparing you the repetitive cycle of buying cheap and buying often. In the end, investing in durable goods is a straightforward strategy for financial efficiency. Remember when Warren Buffett said it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price? Choosing quality and comfort over short-term gains hardly ever pays off in the long run. Number 12. Wasteful purchases. One of Warren Buffett's most timeless quotes on expenses is, "If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need." Many of us are guilty of spending money on irrelevant stuff, believe it or not. But Warren Buffett is absolutely right. Warren champions the concept of frugality. Even when he started out in life, he always knew the importance of spending money wisely. Wasteful purchases and unnecessary items are simply economic baggage for your personal finances. Those impulse buys may bring temporary joy, but the thrill fades fast, leaving you with depleted funds and a collection of things you don't truly need. Spending money involves discernment, skipping the superfluous and focusing on the essentials. By avoiding wasteful purchases, you safeguard your budget and redirect funds towards meaningful priorities, creating a more intentional and financially sound lifestyle. You are going to need this in 2024. Number 13, gambling. Do you remember what we mentioned earlier about weighing risk and reward before making financial decisions? Warren Buffett only invests and makes bets when the odds are in his favor, not emotionally gambling with the odds heavily pitted against you. We know a lot of people flip lots of Benjamins, but it's incredibly rare. And if you really think about it, gambling in casinos has little benefit. It heavily relies on chance and impulsivity, and you'll needlessly lose way more than you gain, which is particularly obvious in the long run. Buffett's approach teaches us that success lies in making thoughtful, informed choices and steering clear of the unpredictable pitfalls that come with relying on luck rather than strategy. Number 14, investing in things they don't understand. There's a reason why ignorance is costlier than education. Yes, investing in golden opportunities could be your ticket to financial freedom in 2024, but it could be your Waterloo if you're not careful. Never make the mistake of investing in things you don't understand. Knowing the ins and outs of the investment makes you more likely to make a wise decision, and Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger, believes this.
I'm only interested in investing where I have some sort of advantage.
Guys, always ensure you fully understand the moves you're making. Don't just mindlessly follow the opinions of financial experts and buy stocks and businesses that you have no idea about. Before making any investment, always remember this statement from Warren Buffett.
We will never buy anything we don't think we understand. And our definition of understanding is thinking that we have a reasonable probability of being able to assess where the business will be in 10 years.
Additionally, you can take things up a notch by saving lots of money to invest for yourself and avoid hefty money management fees. Number 15, following trends. For our next point, we can't help but remember this amazing quote from the Oracle of Omaha. Beware the investment activity that produces applause. The great moves are usually greeted by yawns. Following trends often leads to wasting money on things that quickly go out of style. Buffett's choice of timeless items, like his consistent shoes and simple cars, shows the value in avoiding flashy trends. Those trendy purchases might seem cool at first, but their appeal fades fast, leaving you with less money and outdated stuff. In tough economic climates, we have to resist the urge to obsessively gain applause from others with flashy things, as they genuinely add no value to us. Instead, we have to make the smart choices that stand the test of time, giving our money better value in the long run. Number 16, unused subscriptions. Make no mistake, unused subscriptions often grow to become financial pitfalls for a lot of Americans. People who fall under this category are either paying for services they're not actively benefiting from or for services they don't even need. Whether it's a streaming platform, magazine subscription, or gym membership, those recurring fees add up over time. This money could be redirected towards more meaningful expenses or savings. Regularly reviewing and canceling underused subscriptions is a simple yet effective way to trim unnecessary expenses, contributing to a better financial health. It's about aligning your spending with your actual needs and priorities, ensuring that every dollar spent provides tangible value in return. Number 17, financial decisions driven by greed. Despite how Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway are so involved in the stock market, don't you think it's a bit shocking for him to say, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the inpatient to the patient? Making financial decisions driven by greed often leads to impulsive and risky choices. The desire for quick, substantial gains can cloud judgment, prompting individuals to invest in high-risk ventures or engage in speculative behavior. And speaking of which, Warren Buffett believes is one of the biggest mistakes of investors. These greed-driven decisions may involve neglecting due diligence and ignoring warning signs, increasing the likelihood of significant financial losses. Ultimately, financial decisions motivated by greed are more likely to erode wealth rather than build it.